This week we leave the serenity of the Crinan Basin and head out into the Sound of Jura towards the island of Gigha. We finally feel the summer sun and even manage to get in the water to swim and check the boat before eating at the Boathouse restaurant right on the beach. Hi, we're Dave and Jude, and we sold up our home and left our jobs and our lives behind to live on board our sailboat, Anamcara. Since leaving Portsmouth on the south coast of the UK, we've had quite an adventure, visiting wild Atlantic islands, Irish pubs, spotting whales and watching motorsports. We're embracing life and all that it has to offer. Come with us as we continue to sail north and explore the UK's magnificent coastline all the way up to the Scottish Islands and beyond. We'll be exploring the lochs of Scotland and the Hebridean Islands and discover the wildlife and communities on the way. We have new videos out every Saturday, so make sure you subscribe to avoid missing an episode. After arriving at the Crinan Basin, we had a few jobs to do to prepare for sailing to the islands. We filled the tanks with water as we weren't sure where the next tap would be. We had to use our jerry cans though, as our hose was nowhere near long enough. From the Crinan Basin we get our first view of the spectacular Hebridean Islands. From here you can see Islay, Jura, Scarborough and up into Loch Craignish, as well as the impressive mountain ranges beyond in the Scottish Highlands. We get a real sense of the adventure that awaits us as we enter new and epic cruising grounds in the Hebridean Islands and the west coast of Scotland.
So we've left the Crinan Canal now. We have exited the loch that the Crinan Canal is on. We had a little bit of wind with us, so we did manage to do a bit of sailing. Didn't get any footage of that, but now we are motoring again because the wind has died. We are expecting it to pick back up a bit later. It isn't really meant to get stronger until about 11, which is actually in about half an hour, but it will still be quite light. I think we've got highs of 14 knots today. It's very sunny, as you can see. I'm a bit shaded, sorry. The boom moved. It's very warm, and we're enjoying it very much. This is what we wanted, apart from the lack of wind. We are heading for Gigha. I think it's about 6 to 8 hours. What are we on?
9 right now.
9.
It was 5 when we were motoring. I turned the motor down so that you could speak.
Yeah, well, we turned the motor down just so you could hear me. But we will get back on it in probably about 5 hours. We are looking forward to arriving. We should get some nice clear water and hopefully have a jump in the sea and not freeze too much, but I expect we will. But we'll probably be brave and go with no wetsuits. We'll see. I don't have a wetsuit that would probably be suitable anyway, so may as well just brave it. But yeah, I don't really have anything else to say right now. Dave will probably come on in a minute and ramble on for a bit longer.
So I've come up to the bow just because the engine noise is a bit annoying. Trust me, I don't like it either, so when I'm editing I'm just as annoyed as you will be watching it when our engine is on all the time. But yeah, we're out in the loch now. We're doing 7 knots down the towards Gigha. It's quite notable, the colour of the water is different here. In Loch Fyne it's been completely pitch black water, makes it look very uninviting. And it's not just the depth, it's 120 meters deep here, and it's that kind of nice green colour, so quite interesting that there's a difference there. It could just be because it's a sunny day for a change. We've had a lot of cloudy days recently, which does make the water look a bit darker, but I think it is a different colour as well, which really lifts the spirits. It makes it feel more like the summery boating that everybody's in this for. The surroundings here are absolutely stunning. Everywhere you look there's just mountains and islands and stuff, and on a day like this when it's actually warm, it just feels tropical. It's lovely, and if it was like this all the time, this place would be absolutely jam-packed with boats, but as it is I can see 5 boats, 2 of which are just fishing little tender type things. So yeah, it's very different to the south coast. There's fewer boats up here doing things, but then there's fewer places around as well, so you have to be a bit more off-grid, a bit more prepared. So we've got both our water tanks full plus 2 spare cans of water, and we've also got a full tank of fuel plus 3 cans of diesel, so plenty of both. And we've provisioned up, so we've probably got 3 or 4 weeks worth of food on board. We don't need that. We've got about a week's worth of fresh food, plus a load of canned goods and dried goods, just in case. We don't tend to eat the canned goods or the dry goods until we get a bit low, and then we start eating them, and then we'll top those up as we go shopping later. So, but yeah, it's absolutely beautiful out here. About 5 or 6 hours of probably motoring today. It's feeling a bit breezy now that I'm up at the front. I don't know if that's just because we're motoring faster into it with the tide. So I might go and try sailing again in a minute and see what we get, but the forecast is for not very much wind today. Mostly it's behind us, so once we get up to the speed with the wind, you don't get any propulsion from that anyway. You just end up flapping in the breeze, which results in just being frustrated for the whole day as not a lot's happening. And we'd quite like to get down there early today just to make the most of this sunshine. We've only got 2, maybe 3 days of sun. The wind is staying out for a couple of weeks, but then with any luck we'll get a bit more sunshine. But it's going to be cloudy and no wind from tomorrow by the look of it, so less nice. Temperature's staying fairly good for the week, so that should be pretty good. Right, I better get back to the cockpit because Jude is down below right now. So it's just the autopilot steering. It's pretty really benign conditions, and I'm not wearing a life jacket. There's literally no waves on the water or anything, and it just ends up rubbing on your neck and stuff. But yeah, right now we're 300 yards from shore, and I know I can swim that fairly easily, so not a problem.
Hard day on the helm, as you can see. So we're still underway. We're probably about 2 hours from our destination now, just passing Loch Sween. We are still motoring. There is a little bit of wind. It is in filling our main. We do have our main still up, but it's not doing very much, and there isn't really enough just to sail at the moment. We are getting pushed along with the tide, so we timed it right so that we would have the tide it would start changing just as I think we get in. So we've had the tide the entire way, which has been really good, pushed us along very nicely. It's been very pleasant. We had lunch on deck, put the table up. It was that calm out here. We've seen dolphins passing us and seals all quite far away. Still haven't managed to get any swimming along with us, but I'm sure one day we will get that again. But yeah, all in all, very good so far, and looking forward to dropping anchor, which will probably be the next time you see us.
We've arrived at Gigha. Lovely sand beach here. There's a bunch of rocks on it, but under the sea it's all sand, so beautiful coloured water, as you can see behind me. And the water is actually warm enough that we can swim without wetsuits. I'm not going to say it's warm, it's certainly not tropical kind of temperatures, but it's the first time we've got in the water on this trip, so we're quite pleased with that. I've got my snorkeling gear with me and just having a bit of a play, really. But yeah, surprisingly warm sea up on the Atlantic coast of Scotland. This is one of the first islands that you get to as you come into the Hebrides. So yeah, really surprisingly warm, and it's a beautiful sunny day, so hopefully all good. Hoping that the audio works because I just got the camera wet. Also hoping that the camera is waterproof. This is our new one, so we've not tested it in the water yet, but give me 5 minutes and we'll get some underwater footage. It's not cold.
There's like the cold and then hot and then cold and then hot and cold and then hot.
So it's the following day here on Gigha, and I put the dinghy in. The water is looking really clear. It's pretty flat. There's not much tide running, so I'm going to jump in. I've got my wetsuit on. And just give the bottom of the boat a bit of an inspection. I've not seen it since it was out of the water last year. We've used the scrubbies thing, so it'd be nice to see the results of that. Hopefully the water is going to be okay, because there's not much sunshine today to warm up. Yesterday we went swimming off the beach just in swimming costumes or bathing suits, and that was fine, but we had the sun on us, so we'll see how it feels today. And yeah, fingers crossed I'll get some footage down there. I've got the Insta360 in its dive case ready to try and take some footage, but priority one is looking at the boat, really, to be honest. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
The Isle of Gigha is the most southerly Hebridean island. It is community owned and has less than 200 people living there, which gives it the charm all small islands have. We decided to take some time away from the water and head off on a walk. We planned a route around the Ardminish village. At the start of the walk we found an honesty box. We found these to be common in Scotland, so it's worth keeping cash on hand if you're in this area. We walked through a forest on the edge of the Ogham Gardens. On this walk we came across a door in the tree made out of wood and what looked like a swing on the other tree, but we could find no information about why they were here. One theory that we have is that they're fairy doors and the fairies are thriving in this beautiful area. As part of the walk we made our way up the hill to see the Ogham Stone. This is inscribed with the early medieval alphabet that originated in Ireland. This is also where our boat name Anamcara, which is Celtic for soulmate, is from, so it's something to see one in person. Please excuse the camera work here. It turns out after 4 months I still cannot stop a recording. Some of the text on the stone has weathered over the years, but there is a belief that it's likely the gravesite of the deceased and probably dates back to the earlier settlements of the Scots in Dalriada. We carried on with our walk, and the path pops out at the top, where you get a lovely view of the top over the Isle of Gigha. So we have just gone for a walk in Gigha, so we went to find some stones, and we walked back along this pathway along the top here, and then it cuts through this cow field. So the sign I've just shown you, you can see that we are allowed through this and it is a proper footpath, but there's just these cows and they went running across the field at us. Afterwards I've got some footage of us just staring us down, and then we carried on walking and came to go into this gate, and then there were 5 of them that just suddenly ran across the field. But you can see behind me there's some males in there as well. I think they're all quite young, but he's just turned and stared. Look at him trying to get rid of us.
That evening we ate at the stunning Boathouse restaurant, which has tables right on the beach. We didn't film much, but the food was so good we thought we'd share some photos and give you an appetite. This really is the best place to end a day and watch the sun setting. Thanks for watching, and please join us next week when we sail to the island of Islay and sample some of the world-famous whiskies on the 3 Distilleries Walk. If you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe so you don't miss an episode.